by regarding the world as always like a magically moving corpse, or a machine, or like a dream, or a lightning, or a cloud. The triple continuation is torn asunder, and one is emancipated. Our situation then, our attention is drawn to perceptions. There are feelings going on, and thoughts, habits, habit patterns, moods, and these are all invested with an objective reality. These are the elements of our conventional reality, reality which we take as obvious and common sense. But just as we label all the experiences of the night as dream, we can label all the experiences, all the beliefs, thoughts, feelings associated with conventional reality as samsara. We awaken to how things really are. We no longer regard the impermanent as permanent. We no longer look for satisfaction in what is inherently unsatisfactory. And we no longer regard as real and substantial that which is nothing more than a construction of the mind. So this triple continuation is torn asunder, and one is emancipated. The world in Indian thought is often called the Triloka, the triple world system. But that's not the word that's used here. Professor Suzuki translates it as the triple continuation. And I think the best understanding here is to take this as the continuation of the lakshanas, or the perversions. The three characteristics of conventional existence are that it's inherently unsatisfactory, it's got no inherent substance, and it's impermanent. And the three perversities are believing otherwise. So I think it makes more sense to understand that as the triple continuation. So this is all about developing our relationship with reality, or what we believe in as reality. And this sutra helps us with this. Before looking at it further, one warning. This is not something that we respond to with the ego. It's not about saying how rotten life is, what a miserable state of affairs it is, and throwing our hands up in disgust. It's about what was described before as like a snake sloughing off its skin. It's a natural process. We're moving on to something else, something that transcends what we'd normally take as reality. So we must be careful. We don't want to be like these atheists who aren't so much non-believers. They're people that are angry with God. If there was such a God, why does he allow such bad things to happen? It's like some people call themselves atheists in order to spite God. So their atheism isn't actually atheism. It's about being angry with God. And we don't want to be angry with the world. We don't want to be disappointed in it. It's like being angry with a television program because it's a television program. We realize its nature as a television program. We can enjoy it as a television program. We engage with it as a television program, but we don't get sucked into it as reality, mistaking it for reality. So there's a few metaphors here regarding the world as always like a magically moving corpse. You'd probably call it a zombie in modern terms. So this might be quite entertaining, but not very appealing. One of the great discriminations we like to make is between what is alive and what is not alive. But when you've touched, even to a small extent, the true nature of awareness, you realise that everything is on automatic. So the world can be regarded as a magically moving corpse or as a machine. We're not concerned with this discrimination, this distinction into being alive and being dead. It's a mechanism. The world is a mechanism. Now we must be careful here. I said at the beginning that we mustn't respond to this with the ego. When you regard the world as a mechanism, the ego can come back with a very unhelpful response to this. One that can be quite destructive, actually. So we must be careful here. We're not talking to the ego. It's something that the enlightenment practitioner must contemplate and realize that there's no point in investing emotionally in it. The enlightenment practitioner invests in their own practice, in their own realization, not in samsara, which we're also told is like a dream, which we covered in verse 2, or a lightning. It's something which flashes into existence and is gone. This is our life, like a lightning flash. Or a cloud. We need give it no more attention than a cloud which is passing on its way, eventually disappearing out of existence altogether. That's as much interest as existence has for the enlightenment practitioner. No more interest than a cloud. Now, if you've got certain sensibilities, you might be thinking, hang on a minute, shouldn't we be trying to make the world a better place? Shouldn't we be trying to help each other, resolve conflicts, erase sickness and illness, contribute to human happiness, where we're all living in balance with the earth and our natural resources? Well, of course we should. But that's not what this is about. We can all operate on that level, and there's nothing wrong with that at all. But we're not talking about that level. We can create the best possible narrative for living our lives. But that's what that is, a narrative, and we mustn't confuse that with reality. These narratives assume the concrete reality of conventional understanding. So we can have our narrative, have our story, we can enter into it, engage with it fully, just as we would if we were an actor on a stage. We don't really believe in it, but we throw ourselves into the role. This might seem a bit contradictory. This is how it is. The actor knows that it's all make-believe, but a good actor gives themselves completely to the role. So all that's happening here is we're being reminded that it is make-believe. It's a narrative. And this is no good if you haven't touched realization of the true nature of your own awareness. This isn't an intellectual exercise. It's a reminder of who you really are. So this is what you must come back to, and keep coming back to, the realization of the nature of your attention, of your awareness. And in order to do this, you need to sort out your relationship with your understanding of the world, and realize that there's nothing in it for you. We make realization, enlightenment, our gravitational center.